All right, we're on.
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 Warrenton Board of Alderman meeting. If you would, please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item will be the consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from June 17th, 2025, and the work session minutes with planning and zoning from June 12th.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Waite?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Next, we'll hear public comments. If you'd like to come up and say anything to us, we'll give you 5 minutes to speak. We do ask that you state your name, and then we'll have a conversation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Debbie Brown. We have been residents of Warrenton since 2007. Recently, I reached out to the Alderman, Mayor, City Administrator regarding an important issue. While fireworks can be enjoyable, comes a point when they can become excessive. We appreciate the beauty of the fireworks display, but the associated property damage and financial burden of cleanup and repairs have become overwhelming. For the past 4 or 5 years, we have been enduring with this situation, and it has become increasingly difficult as my husband Mike is currently fighting cancer for the 3rd time. He is no longer able to manage this type of work, especially in the heat, or climbing on the roof to clean the debris from the gutters. Although our neighbors have kindly cleaned the driveway and gathered the debris from the front yard, the backyard patio and gutters remain neglected. We had a roofer come to clean out the gutters, and I have some pictures I would like to show you. 2023, our house was damaged. They said it was not fireworks damage, but as you can see, there is debris from the fireworks in there. This was Sunday. Now, after they cleaned up on Saturday, this is what I picked up out of our front yard. The backyard, the pail is what I picked up in the backyard, and that's not even all of it. And then this debris here is what was on our patio alone. And this is what he got out of our gutter. This is mortar. If you see the quarter here, this size. If it comes down and hits somebody, what's going to happen? Since when is it acceptable to have a 55-gallon drum filled with debris and a blazing fire in the middle of the cul-de-sac? This creates a serious hazard problem if a resident needs emergency vehicles. And then I will show you. That's the 55-gallon drum we had sitting out in front of the house. Pictures of this cul-de-sac. What do you think that's doing to our streets? Well, there you go. How would you feel waking up to this situation? We are simply tired and frustrated that our city would allow such dangerous conditions. If fireworks are permitted in the city, why can't you alter the ordinance to restrict the use in their own backyard, rather than allowing them on the city streets or even banning them? I want to thank our new Alderman Waite. On Saturday morning, I called and asked her if she could come and witness the situation we are experiencing. She agreed to be there at 11 o'clock. And she mentioned that we might not agree with what she has to say, but she would come. I think she was shocked when she's seen the damage to the street and all the debris in our yard. When she spoke with Mike, my husband, me, and Mike Young, the neighbor to the right of us. And then Mike Young brought over a bag of stuff he picked up out of his yard. And then she went over to the neighbors who were out cleaning the street. I believe our neighbors are unwelcoming due to the approaching them in 2003 when our house suffered damage. In 2024, there were no fireworks there. But this year was particularly excessive, and the debris left behind was worse than we've ever experienced. Can I show a video? It's about a minute long. Gotta turn off all the silence and everything.
Sure, a little bit longer, please.
Oh. Okay, hold.
Or not you.
That was the firework. Oh. This is what we're putting up with. And this is only 1 minute. And our neighbor told us his house shook. We were not at home this night. This is from our camera. And this is only 1 minute.
Repeating itself.
I think you get the point. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Deb.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Anyone else like to come up and speak? Thank you again for approaching us and advising of what was going on. I'm sure we'll take it under consideration and do some workshop stuff over the next period to work on that. If you would, before you leave, I mean, I know you've emailed, but please leave your information either on a piece of paper or with one of our city employees so we can at least include you in on some of the conversations as we do have them throughout the next year. Thank you. All right, next we have Board of Alderman comments.
I just want to thank the Warren County Fair Board for the county fair we had. Great job they did and all the volunteers that helped out there.
I agree with you. I think a lot of people don't understand that those people do take vacation and do other things to be able to be out there volunteering and put up with a lot of sometimes rudeness and people drinking
Unruliness.
on their vacation, so.
I wasn't here, but I heard everything went well. The livestock sale was a huge success, so
Yeah, I think
glad to hear that.
the chicken went for like $10,000.
$10,000. I had a great niece that sold a rabbit for $2,000. I'm starting to raise rabbits
And
now.
I'm sure you are.
I was disappointed to hear about the turnout, though,
Yes, on
and the loss.
Yeah.
But I think there again, when you're just bringing entertainment back, several people came up to me while I was out there and said that, and I thought when you're just bringing entertainment back and the weather was not playing right, sometimes you got to expect that it's going to take 2 to 3 years before it bounces back and people start getting acclimated to them having entertainment again, or what be it. We've seen that before on a lot of other events for us. The Fall Festival started out very slow, and within 2 years, we started having record numbers. So I feel for them. I get it. I've seen the progression for us, so I understand some of that.
Hopefully it'll get better.
Any other comments? All right. We'll move on along to the presentation of the audit results ending December 31st, 2024. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you all doing?
Good.
Good, good. Melody has some paper copies if anybody wants a paper copy. You don't really need one if you don't want one. So my name is Alan Schulte. I'm with UHY now, which bought out Bot's Deal, my previous firm. But you should still probably see a lot of the same people, at least for the next few years anyway, as we kind of combine forces. We issued a modified or clean opinion on the audit, or unmodified or clean opinion, which means that the financial statements are fairly stated in accordance with GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. This year, the financial statements for the calendar year 2024. Last year was the first year we did a calendar year, so now we're kind of back in the same apples to apples mode. The city, a few years back, started preparing what we call the annual comprehensive financial report, which goes to the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association. They review it, and then they issue a certificate of excellence if you meet the standards, outlined by the GFOA. And we received a certificate last year, so you can see last year's certificate in this year's report. One of the good things about doing the expanded financial statement is it gives you some schedules in the backs that we call the statistical section. So it gives you like 10-year comparisons, whereas just a regular GAAP statement really is only a single year presentation. So that's kind of one of the nice things. It gives you a few more other non-financial metrics as well about the city. If you look at page 6 in the financial statements, this is kind of a high-level comparison of last year to this year, and this is really one of the few places where you really see a current year to prior year comparison. No real big changes in current assets or capital assets this year compared to last year. Long-term debt is probably the spot where you see the biggest variance, an almost $4 million decrease in the outstanding debt. So about $3 million of that was the scheduled payments on the interchange and the sidewalk loans from the state, and then an additional $2 million that you guys had from collecting the sales tax and things out there. So you made a $3 million dent in that. And then there was about a $600,000 payment on the TIF debt. So again, that's, TIF tax, SID tax, not resources coming from the city per se to pay down that debt. So then one of the other kind of numbers that jump out at you is the negative unrestricted net position. So, and we talked about this last year too. So the interchange loan and the TIF debt don't have assets associated with them because the interchange is the state's, the TIF money goes to the developer. So when you put that debt on the financial statements, it pulls down your unrestricted net position, okay? But if you kind of take those two things into account, there's about $7 million in debt still outstanding up for those two items, which would give you a positive $2 million in net position. And again, the resources used to pay that debt don't come out of the general fund or even capital improvements. They have their own dedicated taxes, and the TIF debt even isn't really, it's on the city's books, but you're only responsible to the extent that you've collected the TIF taxes, okay? But I mean, I don't see no issues going forward in paying that off. You know, some places don't quite generate as much as they expect, but you guys seem to be in great shape there. Go to page 7. On the top of page 7 is Water and Sewer Fund. No real significant changes in current assets there, but the city did issue bonds previously and use those bonds to make fixed asset additions or capital asset additions. So you've used some restricted cash to make capital asset additions, which is why that number's up. But then at the same time, you also had an increase in unrestricted cash. So even though the net change is very small, the unrestricted cash was up significantly compared to last year. And there too, you made a pretty good dent in long-term liabilities, about $500,000 in principal payments there. Go to page 8. Those are revenue and expense comparisons. Water and sewers on page 9. Kind of the big things on page 8. Grants and contributions were $2 million higher last year than this year. That was mostly because of a dedication of some streets and things like that. So when that happens in this presentation, you get a capital asset that gets depreciated over the life of the asset. Taxes were up due to an increase in sales tax. Total expenses were up about $1.7 million. That was mostly due to some improvements made out by the interchange that were paid for out of governmental activities, but really were assets of water and sewer. So they ended up being assets on that side and will be depreciated through that fund. Net position increased almost $3.4 million, which is great. Okay, and then on page 10, these are water and sewer revenue comparisons and expense comparisons. There was a pretty large jump in charges for service, about $1.1 million. Couple things going on there. Rate increase at the end of August 23. Increase in new connections, so you had connection fees and increase in usage. And then for the most part, the biggest part of it was really just the increase in industrial sewer usage. That was the most significant part there. Expenses were up about 6%, mostly due to increase in depreciation on the improvements that you put in place. I'll jump ahead to page 20. So these are the fund statements, which is kind of what you're used to seeing on a monthly basis. Fund balance in the general fund increased $450,000. This is after transfers in from park, transportation, and capital improvements. So you guys make some transfers to cover some of the expenses that general fund pays that really qualify for some of the other funds. One of the things I always kind of look at is fund balance compared to expenses. If you look at the ratio there, you have about 100 days worth of expenses in your fund balance. So if you didn't collect any more revenue, you could go about 3 months. New interchange fund. We kind of talked about, I don't know, have you guys paid that off yet, or is it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, yeah, so it looked like it was going to be paid off in 2025. So, that worked out great. Any questions so far? All right. And I usually hit on the pension schedule on page 52. So the city joined loggers back in 2015 to provide pension benefits to employees. There's a table there, and it'll show you like 5 or probably 9 years of information. So the top half of the table shows what the estimated liability is, which is $4.6 million. Then the next section shows the assets that have been given to loggers to pay those future benefits, $3.3 million, which gives you a net difference of about $1.3 million. Pretty much the same as last year. And that liability's kind of been hovering around that million to $1.3 million number. Did I not get the right page?
49, I think.
49?
Oh, sorry.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. We'll go one more back.
Oh.
There you go. So that's the table. So the reason it's kind of been stuck in that 1.3 to 1 million range is that over the last 3 years, the returns on the investments haven't reached the 7% that loggers kind of expects and plans on earning. So, you're not making up any ground there right now. But, all the other cities, since you guys are kind of new, it's just going to take a while to get there, I think. All the other cities I audit are all 100% funded. So, they know that you're not going to be there right away. It takes some time, since you retroactively granted service credits to people who had been here for a long time. So it's going to take a little bit to get there. And you are at 72% funded, which is still pretty good. The goal for most pensions are 80, 85. So you're not far off there. If you look at the next page, it shows kind of what the calculation of what the contribution should be is the first column. So that's people currently working plus trying to make up some of that deficit from the older people and retirees. And then the second column is what you actually contribute. And if you look at the ratio to what payroll is, it's about 7% a year. Okay, and it stayed pretty consistent there. So that's what that is. So, and one kind of final note, I know in February of 25, you guys did increase the benefit from 1% to 1.25%. So you might see a little increase in that net pension liability this year as they, make the adjustment for that. Any questions there?
So I just have a quick question. When you do an audit, and I understand this is specifically to Warrenton, do you ever compare like municipalities to see if there's an anomaly somewhere in the audit, like we're spending too much in this area, we're not spending enough in that area? Do you ever compare those?
The audit that we do, the financial statement audit, isn't really an audit of how you spend your money. So, we don't see it as our place to say, well, you can only spend 10% of your budget on parks or something like that. So what we're really trying to do is say the numbers here that you've provided us and we've reviewed are fairly accurate. Now, with that being said, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I mean, if we see something based on, experience or whatever, we do try to discuss that with people. And to the point of apples to apples cities, it is really hard to compare cities just because the tax bases are different, the expectations of citizens are different. and things like that.
So there's no other city exactly like Warrenton.
I mean, and you can say that about almost every city. It is really hard to do apples to apples. That's a great question, though. Any other ones? All right. And then we also give the board or the city what we call a management report. This is where we'd make any recommendations or anything like that. We didn't really have any this year. You know, when stuff comes up, you guys do a great job of putting it in place. You guys have really good internal controls, good segregation of duties, all of that kind of stuff. So there's probably not a lot, you know, there that we would even, you know, see a weakness in. And then it also just kind of says, you know, financial statements are based on the information you give us. There's estimates, so like depreciation, the pension liability is a big, you know, wild guess about far off in the future. I know the actuaries wouldn't like me saying that, but, you know, you know, a lot goes into developing that. So that's basically all I have.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schulte.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the audit results for the period ending in December 31st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, second by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Waite?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
And thank you.
Next, we'll hear from City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is an agreement with Judge Charles Billings. Judge Billings is our backup judge in case Judge Bierman is unable to make it to municipal court. So tonight is just renewing that contract with him.
And that contract will be in the form of a bill.
There is a bill.
Any questions involving that?
How long is the contract for?
It's 1 year.
1 year contract.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 38-25.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Romaker, seconded by Alderman Lang.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Judge Charles W. Billings.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of Bill number 38-25.
So moved. Second.
Who was the first one? I'm sorry, I missed that. Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Quarter. Is that correct?
That's fine. You
An
know,
ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute agreement with Judge Charles W. Billings.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Waite?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Bill passes 6-0.
The next thing I have for you tonight is the employee end of summer bash picnic, which we had last year, is going to be September 3rd from 11:30 to 3:30, and we're going to have it at Binkley Woods this year. So I am requesting that we close City Hall during that time so that all employees can attend that.
Need that in form of a motion?
Yes or no is all I need.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you guys are all invited as well. And I also wanted to let you know that today we received a resignation from Gary Miller for planning and zoning, so we will have an opening on planning and zoning. And then 2 dates for you to remember is the large item pickup on the north side is going to be August 11th, and large pickup on the south side of town is going to be August 12th. That's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions at all?
Yeah, obviously, I'm sure you will, but you're going to go ahead and you'll have the description of what large items are acceptable.
Yes, that'll
And
all be out on social media, on the website. It's, I believe, in the paper as well.
And probably on the monthly billing, water bills and stuff, you'll have it on there too.
Correctly.
All right, good, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandy.
Next, we'll hear from Director of Operations, John Struckoff.
Evening. First item tonight is the or the monthly admin report. A couple things to note on there. We had 22 safety meetings between the departments. We're still hiring for grounds and maintenance part-time, seasonal, public works, and also police officers. I just wanted to give a plug to Melody. She had a busy month with 10 burial arrangements, 11 ordinances, and 8 records requests. Had any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them.
I do not.
Also wanted to plug something on that real quick. I don't know if everybody noticed that we did roll out our new website.
Out when I
Haven't-
logged
yeah.
in, it looked different.
A lot different.
It looks
so-
a lot better, a lot easier to navigate too.
It's easier to look up things, I thought, so.
Good. If there's any feedback on any of that stuff, please let us know and we'll get that changed, so. But so far, we're still wrapping up a few loose ends on that, and it'll be completed hopefully in the next couple of weeks, so.
Bless you.
Next item I have for you tonight is the monthly building report. There were 82 permits issued in June, 64 permits closed, and we completed 249 inspections in June. A couple other items to note, Ivy League homes, Rouse and ELS are continuing to build at a very rapid pace with single-family homes. New builder MH Thornton Homes will be starting to build in the very near future. They're finishing up a few utilities on their subdivision up there off of McGee, and that'll be starting real soon. Mr. Wolf's duplexes off of Wolf Road, they poured the last foundations, so they're moving on pretty quick. If you haven't been by the school, there's walls up at the safe house, or the safe building, and that's nearing completion, so they're just going to keep on going there. That's going real well. And if you haven't been by 47 Dobbs, they're not wasting any time on that building. They have the water line board, the retention basin's completed, and the walls have started, so that'll be open very soon as well. Hampton Inn building, the building pad is done, and utilities are nearing completion there as well, so you'll start to see some foundation work going on there real soon. So if you have any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer any. No?
I believe so.
Looks busy out there.
It's very busy, which is good. The next item I have for you tonight is the Meadowview Lane concrete replacement bid. This was brought before you at the last board meeting and approved. There was error in the figures on those numbers, so we're just bringing that back to you to correct those numbers with Sweetens Concrete as still the low bid. Any questions if you have any?
Are there any questions on that? No. All right, I will entertain a motion to award the corrected amount to Meadowview Lane concrete replacement bid to the Sweetens Concrete in the amount of $199,222.50.
So moved.
Second.
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman White?
You say Wade or Lang?
Wait.
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Last thing I have for you is my dates. They're dwindling. I got Fall Festival September 20th, and December 6th is Hometown Christmas. So,
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks, John.
thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Finance Officer Megan Welter.
More numbers.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have the financial reports for the month ending May of 2025. Starting with revenue, in the general fund, we are over for charges for services to the tune of $54,000, mostly pool-related transactions of about $37,000, and then the rest, $10,000 or so from trash revenue. Other revenue in the general fund, we're over $82,000 from projection, again, for the sale of the tractor on Purple Wave auction, the TIF fees from 23 and 24, and a grant for the police department for equipment, $24,000. And we're also over for other in the water sewer fund for $118,000. We had $30,000 for the sale of assets and an $89,000 grant that was from 2024. And then licenses were over the $123,000, and that's pretty much for the school permit. On to expenses. Building, we're under budget $15,000 due to salary-related expenses of a vacant position. Grounds and maintenance under about $8,000 due to salary-related expenses for a vacant position as well. Street is under $17,000 for salary-related expenses and insurance premiums, and actually that will be offset by water, the water department, and that'll get trued up at the end of the year. So you'll see next item I had was water being over budget, 18,000, so that pretty much washes each other out. Lastly, the sewer expenses are over 17,000 due to employee separation payout. Any questions?
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Ground Maintenance Director, Justin Knoll.
So good evening, Mayor and Board. You have our monthly report. Been a super busy summer for us, and the humidity hasn't helped that much. But the guys have been doing a great job keeping up with the park maintenance and battling the heat and humidity. And just want to say thanks a lot for all their hard work. So far, we've had 18, or for June, we had 18 park rentals, a lot of graduation parties and birthday parties. Also, that includes the fishing derby with the Elks Lodge, so that was a pretty decent event up there. Morgan Park reopened on June 30th. I think we've had a lot of good reviews on Facebook and social media. Happy to get that back open. We still do have a few things to finish up there, including the perimeter fence and the lighting and stuff will be finished before summer. Game 7 out at the sports complex has been bringing a lot of folks into town. So far this year, they've had 18 tournaments. This week, they've had a softball tournament going the last 4 days, Monday through Thursday, bringing in teams from all over the United States, from Michigan and east and south, just about every plate you could imagine. So,
Great.
Super busy. Crews continue to push back roadway easements south of town, and I think they're working towards north of town this week. And continue keeping up with the getting through the summer maintenance and be ready for fall season coming up here pretty quick. Have any questions?
I do not.
Thank you. Wonderful job.
I will say that I did happen to stop out at the ballpark this weekend, and Game 7 was having a tournament, and you couldn't find a place to park. It's amazing that how much our fields have drawn in since we put the artificial turf down, and how the teams will come from almost anywhere to play there. So that was a great move. Place looks fantastic, so appreciate all you guys' hard work.
Next, we'll hear from Public Works Director, Guy Jeevers.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. First item I have is my monthly report. We've done some sidewalk repairs on Boonslick and Veterans Memorial, some curb repairs and sidewalk repairs on Bedford and South Morgan. We fixed a fire hydrant off of Highway U. We had 7 shut-off repairs for the water, 2 sewer calls. Both of them were on the city. They started back working on the sidewalk on Main Street. At the wastewater treatment plant, they poured 390 yards of concrete yesterday, and working on putting a digester in and doing a lot of work going on out there. The sewer main on south side, we have a meeting with them tomorrow. We're going to talk to them about when they're going to get the paving done by a movie theater in the school and see if we can get that locked down on the deadline and when that's going to be completed. Any questions?
Guy, did we miss it somewhere? I was questioned about why there's asphalt on Main Street instead of concrete like it's on the other
So
side.
when Banzi did it originally, the first part of it, they were struggling to get an asphalt company to come in and do the asphalt work. So he went ahead and ate the extra and concreted it. Otherwise, it would have sat like that till.
In a few years, that'll all be gray. Because I was asked the same question and asked Brandy to help me out with it.
It's hard to find somebody to come out and do a little bit of asphalt work without, and apparently
Would it be
this
a
contractor
recommendation
knows
that-
somebody.
Would it be a recommendation that anything else we go from, we up the bidding to include concrete in that area?
We can do, I can do that, yeah.
I mean, I'm turning to you guys. I can tell you what the
There's pros and
complaints
cons to
are.
both, but
I can tell you what the complaints are,
It's not very
but I'm turning to
aesthetically
you
pleasing.
guys to ask.
there's pros and cons to both, but you can see how long that asphalt's gonna last compared to the concrete, especially when we're putting road salt on there.
And the asphalt's easier to repair than the concrete. But I can do whatever you want me to do, but I prefer the asphalt just because it's fixable.
I don't deal with that every day, that's why I'm asking you guys. You guys have the expertise, not me. But I do need an answer to be able to tell people, so.
An answer to why it was like that, or putting in concrete to asphalt?
I just think a lot of people, I mean, I'm not arguing it for it or against it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just like the appearance of concrete. That's all it is. I mean, I don't think nobody argued structural or anything else. They just like the appearance and want it even out on both sides. But if I got an answer as to what's easier to repair and why, and what's gonna last longer, then that's an easy answer.
Was concrete there before? It is, wasn't it? Was it
was asphalt.
Was it asphalt?
asphalt.
Was it all the way down? I couldn't remember. Okay. Which over the years looked,
Weathered, yeah.
it lightens up and looks like concrete, so
Any other questions?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we hear from Lieutenant Justin Unger for Warrenton Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. The first thing I have for you is the Chief's monthly report. Are there any questions about that I can try to answer for you? Nothing? Okay. So the only other thing that I had for you is I wanted to let you all know that we have an upcoming event this Saturday on July 19th from 10 to 2. Our SROs, all of our school resource officers, they're hosting this community event called Cops and Bobbers, where they're fishing with a lot of local kids. So our SROs have partnered with the Warrenton Fire Protection District and Missouri Conservation, and basically our goal is just to get families together and hang out with the community and fish with some local kids, and we just wanted to invite all of you to attend that if you'd like to.
Where's that going to be held?
That's at Binkley Park, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming Justin has put some fish over there?
Yes.
Yes, the lake was stocked the first of June, or right around the first week of June. I think that's.
We're not having
It was
any-
right before the first fishing derby.
We're not having any Washington issues, are we?
I'm sorry?
What is the algae issue that
Oh,
Washington's having?
As far as I know, no.
What was the time of that?
That is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have a copy of my June monthly report. There was no new businesses that opened in June. We will have a few items on the agenda for next month for planning and zoning. So. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't.
No, I don't have anything for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
You got off easy tonight.
Next, we'll hear from City Clerk, Melody Root.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. I have a list of records to be destroyed. These are finances records. Just need approval.
So the destruction of the records is due to retentions within set by the AG's office or by the Secretary of State. Just for clarification for anybody who's going to ask. Any questions on those?
No.
Not.
I will entertain a motion to approve the following list of records to be destroyed.
So moved.
Second.
Who was the first one? I'm sorry. Schultz. Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Waite. Roll call vote.
Alderman Waite,
Yes.
Alderman Romaker,
Yes.
Alderman Lang,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Anything else, Melody?
That was it?
Want to make sure. I will entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, second by Alderman Lang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are so adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thanks, everyone.